Hello my friends, everyone who love the game Dark Souls. Today I have prepared for you 10 best games, in my opinion, in the Souls-like genre, and so it went. First place. Immortal, Unchained. A beautiful futuristic version of Dark Souls that requires more patience than Dark Souls itself. Immortal, Unchained aimed a bit too high, although its combat system is quite unique in the Soulsborne genre, and there is an admirable variety of weapons to experiment with. It nevertheless falters in too many of its parts. In many occasions enemy attacks and environmental hazards are designed in such ways to unfairly kill us. Bosses are lackluster, the overall design feels quite plain, and the last third of the game just drags on forever. It's worth saying though that its high challenge in the fact that it's technically devoid of serious issues may just put it in the vicinity of guilty pleasures. Second place. Unworthy. Well, in a one sentence, I can say this game is a 2D pixel art version of Dark Souls. The graphic is professional pixel art, the physics and movement of characters and body parts are nice, and whole game has black and white theme which appropriate for the hellish atmosphere of the game. The music, well, is not bad. The game is too hard, with too far checkpoints. Just to sword attack is enough to send you far back and again pass the same way. If you are lucky you may beat the first boss after 20 try. You may like the game if you love hard ones. Third place. Death's Gambit. If you like exploring, fighting and challenges in a medieval setting, this is your game. You can tell it's a humble project with a tight budget behind it, but the results are very good. This game is fascinating and delightfully punishing, from the variety of weapon types, enemies, and unique bosses to the beautiful pixel style art and great music. This is a phenomenal and challenging, but rewarding, game. Fourth place, Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen is a small miracle when you consider the size of the studios that have worked on the project and the quality of the art direction and combat system, but unfortunately it does not completely shine. While it borrows heavily from the Souls franchise, it's done well and with its own signature flair. I highly recommend this game to anyone that enjoys that series, and if you haven't gone down that road before, it might be a more forgiving entry point into the action rebounds per game. Fifth place. Gloom. Gloom is a pretty decent roguelike, and its inspiration from Dark Souls and Bloodborne is undeniable. The combat is wonderfully tidy, and everything works as you would expect, except for perhaps getting moved by enemies from time to time. The game is not strictly long, but depending on your skill at the game it might take a while to actually succeed. There is good variation between each play, from what weapons you get and upgrade, to what items you find. There are 3 main areas, each with a store, smith, free item and different potential bosses. Sixth place, The Surge. The Surge is a surprise, utilizing its near-future sci-fi setting to create a unique world that is a wonder to explore and uncover. Though its story fails to take off, the awesome combat and engaging crafting and upgrade system are more than enough to make the game stand out amidst the increasing gaming landscape. fun game with similar combat mechanics to Dark Souls. The focus on melee-only combat was very appealing. Also, the artwork and graphics are great. 7th place. Titan Souls. It requires patience, a keen eye, reflexes and skill, and the ability to accept that you will die a lot, and sometimes it will seem unfair, and sometimes you will want to throw your controller at the nearest hard surface. But Titan Souls is a fantastic game, a fine example of what is possible with a simple idea, stripped-down controls and a dense atmosphere backing it all up. Hard game but completely fair. Fights are so refined that you can beat the enemies easily with practice, but can end up being difficult if you don't know what to do. Overall, would recommend to play. 8th place. Nioh Complete Edition. Nioh Complete Edition is a worthy game, and maybe one of the best, with the inclusion of all the DLC and the great performance of the port. Nioh should be a day-one purchase for all fans of the genre. The combat system allows you to play fast and aggressive or slow and defensive, whichever suits your playstyle. And the inclusion of DLC weapons from the start means that you have an incredible amount of customization right off the bat to play through this deep, lengthy game. Players with a half-decent computer and a controller will find themselves lost in a game that goes above and beyond what's expected of the genre. The game is great, everything you would expect from a Dark Souls clone, but even better in terms of speed and preciseness. 9th place. Salt and Sanctuary. You could call Salt and Sanctuary a 2D mashup of Dark Souls and Castlevania, and you'd be right. But such a simple pronouncement would be a disservice to the tremendous amount of thought that's gone into Salt and Sanctuary, whether it's in the graphic style that evokes horror through the style of comic strips or in the intricate web of dungeons and castles serves as a map. The world building is really exciting, so many hidden spots and secret paths interconnecting many areas with unique feel to them. The environments are fantastic looking. The atmosphere is purely outstanding. Awesome music and sound plays a substantial part in it, along with many distinct and frightening enemies keeping you on the edge. There is mystery enticing you in, and there is dread following you. Everything is just so captivating and well pieced together. 10th place. Dead Cells. One of the best action platform games released this decade. Each level is uniquely beautiful. Both the art and the music are great. Not only the art, but the animation is notably of a very high quality. There are lots of optional secrets. The controls are extremely fluid. There is a big list of weapons, skills, that make you vary your playstyle throughout the run, and combat is very satisfying. There are amazing cutscenes and dialogues with yourself and with other characters in the game worth seeing. This reminds me of the past when gamers used to be determined to complete a level stage to unlock the next cutscene, feeding you more from the story of the game.
You catch don't know.